just throw your motherfucking ass. He played 43 minutes, dog. I think he ended up getting kicked out because he kicked the cameraman and shit. I go in the back.
Hey guys, this is Dominique Wilkins.
Hey, this is Sean Kemp.
This is Gary Payton.
Hey, this is Pau Gasol.
NBA fans, what's up? This is Vince Carter here.
Hey, what's up? This is Matt Barnes. If you're an old school NBA fan like I am, make sure you check out the Basketball Time Machine with my man Sean David.
Hello and good day, everyone. Welcome back to the Basketball Time Machine. My name is Sean David. Thanks for tuning in. Let's talk some old school NBA basketball. Now, as you know, the Chicago Bulls back in the 90s were my favorite team of all time. And obviously, Dennis Rodman was also one of my favorite players of all time. And I love to have those videos where NBA legends talk about him because it seems like the stories keep on coming and coming and coming. So in this episode, I will show you a handful of new clips, NBA legends talking about, well, the worm. But before we start with that, let me ask you guys for a small favor. Please subscribe to the channel and like the video if you enjoy the content. All right, you guys, let's do it. Now, the first clip that I want to take a look at is of Dirk Nowitzki talking about Dennis Rodman. And the crazy thing is, many people forgot they were actually teammates. Dennis Rodman used to play for the Dallas Mavericks. And obviously, Dirk has some pretty interesting insights.
Dennis Rodman had a brief stint here. What was that like?
Oh, it's wild. I mean, I'm a big Chicago Bulls fan in the 90s there, obviously. So he was one of my heroes. And then, Cubes bought the team my second year, halfway through. And he's like, we need to make a splash here. We need to get on the map. This is a Cowboys town, and I want to bring the Mavericks back. I think I'm going to go sign Dennis Rodman. And we're like, are you serious? But he ended up doing it, and it was quite an experience. So he... Every time, so as a team meeting, we usually meet with Nelly, obviously with 40 minutes before the game. So the first game, we have Dennis Rodman. We're all kind of like excited he's starting. So 40-minute rolls around. He gets up. Nelly's about to start the film. Rodman gets up and goes take a shower. We're like, okay. So he comes back. He didn't see the video. He doesn't know the coverages. So he just goes out and kind of does. Sometimes he squeezes. Sometimes he hedges a little bit. Sometimes he does nothing. So I was like, okay, maybe he just did it one time. Second game, 40 minutes on the clock, he gets up and showers. So he missed all the pregame meetings before the game and had no idea about the coverages that we're doing and kind of did his own thing. And I was like, that was just his routine. At 40 minutes before the game, he was showering. And then after the game, he would just put his own gear on and would go lift hard for like an hour and a half, 2 hours. Wouldn't be with the team. Would just be find his workout room, and he had his little workout coach, and then they were just lifting heavy for like an hour and a half after the game, and then he just put on a cowboy hat with these long feathers, didn't shower, and just walked right out the arena, and the media scrum would chasing him, and he's mumbling something. It was a comedy sideshow, and then it just wouldn't work. It wasn't working well. Those couple games he was here, and but it was definitely a splash. I mean, the arena was full, and he got kicked out of one game. He sat on the court for a while, and the refs didn't want to throw him out. I mean, there was a lot of stuff happening.
And the next story that we're going to take a look at is from Steve Kerr, who played alongside Dennis Rodman for the Chicago Bulls. And to me, the interesting part was that I always felt like those two, they must have gotten along, because to me, Steve Kerr seems to be the kind of person who not only could handle Dennis Rodman in a specific way, but could be a good friend of his. So the next story did not surprise me.
My favorite Phil Jackson story, Dennis Rodman was drifting apart from the team one year emotionally. He was a very quiet guy, behind the scenes, and separated himself from the group sometimes. So Phil would try to pull him back in. And so one day in Philadelphia, we had a game. And after the game, we had that night free, staying in Philadelphia. Phil came to Judd Bushler and me, and he said, "Hey, listen, Dennis is drifting away from the team. I want you guys to go with him to Atlantic City tonight. He chartered a bus. He's going down there to play blackjack, and I want you guys to hang with him. And Judd and I were like, oh, okay, well, we're just the guys for the job. So we had a wild night with Dennis in Atlantic City, stayed out all night, came back to the hotel at like 7 a.m, and we had to practice that morning. And as we walked into the hotel, there was Phil looking at us, and Judd and I didn't know how to behave. And he just said, go get your stuff on. Practice starts in 2 hours. And Dennis had the day off because all the starters had the day off. And he just turned to us and said, see you later, suckers. And it was that story perfectly encapsulates Phil, because no other head coach would encourage a couple of his players to spend a crazy night with Dennis in a casino. But Phil understood people. He understood Dennis. He knew the power that he had on our team, and that was Phil's solution, which was genius.
I can see the look on his face. I think I've seen it several times from covering the Lakers with him, so I totally get it. What do you know about Dennis Rodman that we don't know?
That he is a kind, gentle soul who loves his teammates. He is emotional. He's passionate about life, about people, about the game. So everything that you saw, or that you continue to see, I guess at times, to me is kind of an act. It's just it's just Dennis kind of messing around, but at his core, he's just a wonderful soul.
Shaq, Kobe, and Dennis on the same team. Who's the biggest superstar?
You.
No.
Kobe.
Dennis Rodman.
I know that. I mean, I heard all the stories.
Bro.
Yeah, I thought you was talking about just superstar. You told me some stories now.
This dude would come in. The meeting's at 5:30. Like, you got to be there at 5:30, 45 minutes ago. He'll come in with 40 minutes on the clock, eating chicken and rice, not paying attention. Doing it in the middle of the meeting, take a cold shower, not paying attention. We go out first, then he'll come out, give you 25 rebounds, stinking like put his clothes on, and go to the club and had the baddest woman I've ever seen in my life. Surrounded him, hugging him,
That's the
kissing
reason you
him.
don't like him, is because he had the baddest women.
No, I'm like, this it stank like, he smelled like garbage truck water, and he got models on him at the club. Like, I was a party guy. I thought some party had some things, but I ain't never seen what I seen with Dennis Rodman.
Funny story, we had Dennis Rodman. Dennis Rodman always late to practice, always late. And this is when Kurt Ramsey took over. So we used to practice at this little junior college, and someone stole Rodman's shoes. This is the first time Rodman ever made the practice on time, but he had no shoes because someone stole them. And he walked in there, like we talk about having a bad day. Kurt Ramsey had a bad day. He says, I'm sick of your get the fuck out. And Rodman like looking around, who's he talking to? You always fucking late. Rodman like, I've been here. Get the fuck out. And so he threw Rodman off the team, and that's when Rodman kind of started spiraling, couldn't make another team after that. So he
drove the man crazy because he showed up to practice on time and they didn't even think he was at practice.
Yeah.
The last three with Dennis Rodman. Nothing could top that. Even looking back in 96 when we won 72 games, I don't know how we did it. Like, we had the biggest party animal on our team. I mean, when you go out with Dennis, this dude order and the waitress come out with a tray full of drinks. And this all night around the clock.
How did you handle that, man?
It was fun, man.
About a couple of years ago, I had the honor to actually talk to Dennis Rodman. I had him on my show, and I want to be completely open about it. He was the only player ever that I was nervous prior to the interview because I had no idea what to expect. And it turned out that he had a very great day. He was super nice. He really gave us all to have a good show. And he basically confirmed that to me, he's probably one of the most entertaining human beings of all time. And the only thing that I always want to make sure is that people don't forget that aside all the crazy things that he did, he was a phenomenal basketball player, and I was so happy that he made the top 75 players list. Anyway, you guys, that was it for today's episode. I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and hopefully I'll see you next time on the Basketball Time Machine.